Joining us live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, to discuss the cessation of hostilities between the Ethiopian government and Tigrayan rebels is Global Affairs Analyst Chrys Anyanwu. A very good evening to you, Chrys, and thanks for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Now, Chrys, it's been a long road to this peace deal. What are the dynamics to be expected to change in Ethiopia as both parties have put pen to paper on this deal?
Thank you very much. I agree with you. It's indeed a very long one. Long in a sense that most of us did not expect this to last longer than necessary. Recall, Abiy came in with a lot of expectations. In fact, the world started seeing him as the peacemaker of some sort. And he made a lot of promises, to heal broken trust in Ethiopia and also galvanize the Ethiopian fractured ethnic enclaves. And he didn't waste any time. He started doing what he promised when he initiated the peace deal with the Eritrean neighbors, ending the long violence in the Eritrean borders of Ethiopia. And then recall that quickly earned him the Nobel Peace Prize Award in 2019. And it wasn't up to a year after that. The ex-while acclaimed world peacemaker, Nobel Peace Prize winner, became a warlord who went into war with his own people. And unfortunately, as usual, as it is, it's the innocent, the civilians are the biggest victims. Tens of thousands have been killed, millions displaced, and all that. So this is a very good move. It's a welcome development. All we needed around here is just to continue to silence the gun. So I just hope and believe, as they have dedicated and committed to putting, a commitment to paper coming on the negotiation table, that they will come into it. They will come with all the deepest sense of sincerity. Because if you recall, this is not the first move. A similar move was made in August.
Exactly. And that brings me to this question, Chrys. A lot is expected from Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. What are the first steps he needs to take to show he's committed to the deal? Because you mentioned that this is not the first time a truce will be signed. What are the guarantees that this truce will hold this time around?
Thank you very much. You see, one thing that really bothers me in this whole peace move is the fact that Eritrea is a very, a significant actor in this conflict. And they were not represented in South Africa. So there's a need for Abiy to prevail on his Eritrean collaborators, to accept this peace move. That's the first thing he needs to do. Secondly, if you listen to the statement issued by Chief Obasanjo, he clearly said that there was a demonstration of systematic, smooth, and coordinated disarmament of. So I believe they will commit to all these agreements. And thirdly, I also want to see a situation where you recall the communication and transport system were all cut off from the Tigrayan area.
A restoration of services.
Making it very impossible for humanitarian situations to prevail in the Tigrayan area. So I just want to see a situation where all these things are restored. First of all, to make it possible for people to access humanitarian interventions. People are dying needlessly. A lot of people are in IDP camps and all that. So I want to see a commitment that will make it possible for some of these things to be restored as quickly as possible. And like I said, I also want to see a commitment on the part of Abiy to prevail on his Eritrean supporters to also accept the peace deal as agreed in South Africa.
Now, Chrys, just before I let you go, a while ago we got reports that some Oromo rebels, another rebel group operating in Ethiopia, kidnapped some Ethiopian officials. Will this change anything in the peace deal?
Anyway, I don't want to dwell so much on the incidents, the actions preceding this conflict and all that. But of course, at the end of the day, everything stops on the table of Abiy as the leader. There is a need for him to show strong and committed leadership. And I'm sure if he's able to do that, I mean, all the warring factions will have no choice but to accept the peace deal. I like what, this is it's not different from what happened in Rwanda, in the 1994 and all that, where after that ugly incident of genocide that affected over 1 million people and all that, the leadership of Rwanda, headed by Paul Kagame, came and made it possible for everybody to first see himself as Rwandese, whether you are Tutsi or Hutu or whatever you are, to see yourself first as Rwandese. That's leadership. Today is almost like a crime to say I am Tutsi or I'm Hutu. Everybody first is Rwandese. So I want to see a situation where the leadership of Abiy Ahmed Ali will take up that responsibility to ensure that he brings everybody together. If you see, Ethiopia has been so fractured along ethnic lines and all that, and this is part of the reason why this war is going on. Tigray has held sway for a very long time. So when the man came, and attempted to, change some of the things that has been over the years and all that, it became a problem. So I want to see a situation where he begin to show that leadership. He is the leader right now, and a lot is expected of him at this moment. Otherwise, this may be one of those, jamboree and waste of time. If you recall, most of our peace agreement and deals in Africa has not worked, from the Aburi to the Rwanda DRC and all that. So I want to see, people committing to this, because a lot of people have died needlessly. It's unnecessary.
Exactly. There's been so many.
Really commit to this. I see all those warring factions not having a choice.
There's been so many needless deaths, and of course, it's the women and children that suffer the most. So everyone is looking to making this peace deal a success. Thank you very much for your time, Chrys Anyanwu. It's been a pleasure talking to you on NC Continental Prime.
Thank you.